Hello, everyone. Justine Dandria here with Bible Journaling Ministries creative team. And today I am using the printables from, we're doing Galatians 4 through 5. And I love these printables, the colors, how festive they are, but also connecting the reason for the season. So I'm really excited to do this. And we're going to be doing something a little different. I am not going to be journaling in my Bible. I am actually going to show you how to use cards. So, what you want to use is get some cardstock, maybe print it different colors, and then some plain, maybe red or green. And then I'm using pre made um, cards and envelopes. And you can get this at a craft store where they have the card already cut out, and then you have the envelopes. If you and we'll get into that a little bit more on how ways to do it if you don't have the products. I'm also using some ribbon, and then the most important thing is we're doing stickers today, and we're going to be using printable sticker paper. So we need glue and scissors for the card part, but for our printables, I have here sticker paper that we'll be using for the printable today, and we can talk about that more a little later. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. So as I said earlier, you can use pre-made cards that look like this, and they just have the crease in it already. Sure, these are 5.5 by 8.5. But if you don't have the cards and you want to be a little bit more creative, you can always go ahead and grab some colored cardstock and you can cut that out. So I'm going to do that here on with this red cardstock. And if you don't have a paper cutter like I have here, you can just use scissors. And then you're just going to put the extra cardstock aside so that you can use for more cards later or to use on your cards. Um, and then if you're doing this, you want to cut it and then either fold it in half, or I believe the half point is 4 1/4. And then you can just score with a scoreboard. This particular cutting board has the scoreboard in it already, which I love to use this one. As you can tell, it's a bit messy. So I'm excited. We're going to do 3 different cards today that I'm going to show you that I've done using the printables. And again, I've used sticker paper, which you can get at an office supply store or on Amazon. And there's different grades of sticker paper. Some are a little bit thicker. They just kind of um, some already have slits in the back that you can peel off the backing of it. It kind of just depends on how much money you want to use on the printer sticker paper. I just go with the average one. And you'll print it out just like you would the printables on paper. Sometimes it does have in your settings, it says um, specialty paper. So maybe if you want to use that in the settings for when you're printing it, um, then that might work. Right here, I'm cutting some 3x3s, and I have a 3x4 there, just to have some extra pieces in case I want to put a background on one of the cards or something like that. So that's what you use that paper. There is so many different things that you can do with backgrounds on cards, but I think the greatest thing is getting a homemade card for the holidays. I think that just is the best gift. So I'm starting with the plain white card that was pre-cut and pre-scored, and I'm gonna use my 3x4 piece that I cut out, and I'm gonna glue the backing the back of it. So this is a double-sided paper, which is really good. You could just get one sheet and then have different things that you can do with the one sheet. You don't have to buy a whole bunch of sheets. And if you use this kind of glue, you're going to notice you have to be careful because it dries up pretty quick. And if you don't use it for a while, the tip of it gets clogged. So you got to do some cleaning. But I think I'm going to go bypass this part of cleaning it and just taking my little tip off. It is nice to use when you're doing fine work. So I'm kind of just placing it on there. I'm just gonna do a little design on the card, pretty basic. I'm gonna start with edging the edges with I'm gonna go ahead and de-stress the edges. And I sometimes do it like this where I don't use a sponge, but I didn't like the way it was coming out. So I decided to go ahead and get a makeup sponge that I like to use, and it'll just give a softer look and won't be so like edgy. And when I'm doing this, I like it to go out off the edge because I like it to look a little bit more natural on the card. So I kind of put a little bit here and there, even going in away from the edge, and maybe even sometimes on the red part. So I'm using this brown because I'm going to be using the reindeer donut, and that has a little bit of brown. It's not necessarily totally your traditional colors, but it does have it in there. So I'm going to put my little top on here. Okay, so I have glued that little piece down, and I just kind of offset it there on the side just to make it a little interesting. So this paper with my nails, I'll have to get a tool to just help to take the backing off of the sticker. Like I said, some of them can be a little bit harder, but if you bend the edge, usually it will lift the backing of the paper so you don't have to, it'll come off easier. So, okay. Now, of course, there's plenty of printables here with the three sheets that not only can you make quite a few cards, you can also go ahead and do your Bible journaling, which is really great. And why not do it all year long too? Have some cards made up, handmade cards to send. I know when I send cards to people just to say hello or that I'm thinking of you, that they really appreciate that. And sometimes us older people like to get snail mail. Well, actually, I do. I don't know about you, but I do. So I'm using the medium-sized donuts here, which I think are so great. And I'm using the do not forget that Jesus is the reason for the season. I'm using the smaller version of the word fetty. I call it word fetty. So I put that on the left side. So I gave you basic um, supplies that you need to make cards, but there is no end to what you can do. You need to just use your imagination and have some fun with it. And I will be using some stickles on this one. And not a lot, just a little bit, but I'm going to show you a couple little ways that I do it. So I'm using the edge of or the tip of the scissors to kind of get that off. Sometimes it can be a little frustrating, but it's just fun sometimes to use stickers. There we go. So I'm going to place three of them, kind of grouping them together. And then pretty simple card, but I think it's so unique and different. Usually when I do a grouping, I like to do like a grouping of three. I'm gonna take my black marker, and you guys know me, I like to do the outline. Oh, that's right, I decided to use green. I'm gonna use the green one. So these are the Posca markers. These are paint markers. And you can draw on it. You can, add accents to your card. As you're doing your cards, I'm sure there'll be ideas that pop in your mind, like, oh, what can I do? So I just do my little squiggle with a little quote mark thingy. Mhm. The other thought I had, you can even do holly leaves around or doodle, little things, maybe ornaments or something like that. I think the more personal, the nicer, that it becomes. And you can make maybe two or three of the same one or the same style. These are my stickles. I love stickles. And I'm gonna go put it on. I'm gonna put it on my dot. I'm gonna make some dots, and then I am gonna put it around the edge of the card. So we're doing Galatians 4, 4 through 5, and this is the the King James version. But when the fullness of the time was come, God sent forth his Son, made of woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. Galatians 4, 4 through 5. And we always want to remember that during the season, we don't want to forget the reason for it. And this is a nice little reminder in a fun way, not only to remind ourselves, but to remind others. Maybe even if you make these into like postcards, you can hand them out with maybe a prayer on it during the holiday season. You can cut the card in half and you can, use it as a postcard to hand out. I think that would be cute. So I'm just going along the edge with a little bit of stickle because I wanted to add a little sparkle to it. I found that I apparently I like to use it landscape way, but you don't have to use it landscape way, which is horizontal. You can also have the opening to the right-hand side. For some reason, I don't know why I kept going on all three of my cards, actually, I kept going horizontal. And then the inside, on the next one, you'll see you can keep it plain or you can add a little card. So you can have white cardstock, or I'm just going to take this card and cut it down. I'm going to leave about a 1/4 inch um, frame around. So I'm going to cut this one with my little cutter, and I believe it's just a 1/4 inch shorter. Um, Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so I think I do 5 1/4 by what do you do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 1/4. I think that's what I did. And you'll see it just gives a little bit of a frame with the green paper. And then I'm just going to go ahead and glue that on. So I'm doing it with the white paper because I want the white background, but you can use any color paper that you want. And this is basic card making. It just, there's so many different things that you can do with cards. But if you've never made cards before, this is a great way to get started. So, I mean, also you can add stamps to it, to add to the background, but I'm using again the printables today and adding my own little special touches. So these are the large printables that you would do in maybe your interleave Bible or in your um, illustrative Bible, because these are the really big um, printables. I just had a thought. These would be really cool too if you had a brown bag or even, some kind of paper bag and you wanted to add them as decoration to the bag for gift giving. I think that would be really cute too. I grabbed some ribbon earlier and I think I'm gonna add a little bit of ribbon to this, add a little texture, but then I had the idea is I wanted to add a little bit more. So I'm gonna grab my paper um, that I'm using, the holly paper, and I'm gonna show you how to do a little strip to add to your card. And you can group a couple of the strips together, or like I'm doing here, I'm going to group my ribbon and my strip. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to get my larger cutting board, and I'm going to do a 1/2 inch strip. So you can do a 1/2 inch strip, you can do an inch strip, a quarter strip, whatever you want, but it just kind of helps to add a little bit of cuteness to your card. And then you'll just cut it down to whatever size that you want it to be. And I'm just adding it there to the left. Do you guys notice I do a lot on the left? It might be because I'm left-handed. I'm not sure, but um, sometimes I'll glue it on and then cut it. This time I'm just kind of marked it with a pencil and I'm just going to cut it here and then add some glue. So if you're going away for the holiday, or you're going away and you want to make cards while you're away on vacation or something, a great way to do that is to just use the sticker paper, and you really don't have to worry about glue or anything. If you didn't want to, you can just glue the images stick the images onto the card, or even tags or anything that you could think of to do with that. Okay, a little bit of glue. And then like I said, doing personal touches. So you can go ahead if you really don't like your own handwriting and you really don't want to do it, you can go ahead and just make maybe a couple of word fetty stickers. Just print some words out on the sticker paper. Or I'm going to use my black archival pen. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write, "Don't forget, Jesus is the reason for the season." And I'm just going to kind of do it in a fun way. And I just think that, like, again, it just adds that personality to it. And I think making it personal makes it um, from the heart. And again, as you're doing these, um, the cards or your Bible journaling, remember, this is time spending with the Lord. And how great would it be if you're sitting there making this card and somebody pops into your mind and you said, "All right, you know what? I'm going to take this moment and I am going to say a prayer, and I am going to write a prayer in this card and then send it to that person." How awesome is that? That God's giving you that gift of putting that person on your heart to pray for them, and to be able to do that, I think is awesome. So think about that as you're doing your creative work. If God puts someone on your heart, then you can just doodle with your lettering. You can even add buttons or, different other things that you want to the card. Tracy gave us those really little, did you see, if you see those really little donuts there, you could probably cut those out with a hole punch. Don't forget also, she does have tutorials on there how to print out and cut with your Cricut or your Silhouette machine. So if you want to do that, um, and learn how to do that, you can go ahead. I'm adding another piece of white paper to the inside so that this way I can write on there, maybe with a green pen or something like that. Also, a fun thing to do would be to grab um, maybe some Christmas stamps and not necessarily have the verse or the a saying in there, but maybe just something little. These stamps here are from Sweet and Sassy Stamps, and I love her stamps, and I'm just going to use the Be Jolly stamp to um, add it to the inside of the card. And remember, when you are using a new stamp, to go ahead and use an eraser or to, um, rub it on your skin or to kind of get out that film that's on there. And you can have fun using different colors. I'm going to put this one up top so that it gives me room still to write a hand lettering. And I think that'll do it for this one. That's got quite a bit on there. It's got the ribbon and then my own handwriting, and then it has the little stamp inside for the little extra surprise. And then our final card today, we're going to be using the red card stock that I use that I cut out myself. And I'm using the large, don't forget, do not forget Jesus is the reason for the season. And when I'm doing my work, I don't always concentrate on everything being precise. I know some people like it that way, but my creative way is that to make it look a little bit more organic. And so I am not always worried about things lining up correctly. If you are, then you just want to go ahead and maybe space it out um, to your liking and do it that way. But I am very free spirited for the most part. And I like to be organic with what I'm doing. So you'll see that obviously represented in my work here. Okay, so I am cutting these down and I'm going to put my holly because I love that holly. I do love holly. I'm going to put that on the left side again. Even actually, you know what? I should have ripped it too. Now I'm thinking of it. It would have it would have looked cool to rip the paper too. So, um, and the great part is they're stickers. So once I get off the backing, then we can just stick them on. I think that takes me the longest. These are just so quick and easy. You can also, I didn't mention this, but there's a way that you can make your own envelopes too, but they do sell envelopes separately in the store, usually the craft store, that you could go ahead and buy envelopes to match your cards. All right. Just have to have a little patience with getting these off. So I just want to remind you also that if you're not part of Momentum, go ahead to BibleJournalingMinistries.com. Check it out there. It's an awesome monthly subscription. You get lots and lots of tutorials and printables, and you get the previous years. I think, are we in our 6th year, I think, of Momentum? Um, and you can go back and grab all that other fun stuff. You will be a pro at Bible journaling before you know it. There's so much there. And if you haven't done it already, if you're brand new to Bible journaling, to go to the free 10-day class that Tracy offers, Spread the Word. This is a great way to introduce yourself to Bible journaling and not to be afraid. Take one step at a time and, like I said, introduce others to it. So I'm using the smaller, not the teeny. Well, I am going to use some of the teeny tiny. So I'm using the smaller and donuts. And then I'm going to add, she's got these cute little Nomi cookies there. So I'm going to add a couple of those to the card. But you can see here, you get plenty of stickers out of the Momentum kit for we're doing Galatians 4. So not only can you be making your art or your crafts or your cards, you also can be praying and just spending time, maybe put some worship music on and spend some time with the Lord. Or, even better, grab a bunch of friends, grab a few of your friends and make them together. I am going to add a little bit of the green ribbon on the bottom. This is just a regular ribbon with some Christmas trees. Keeping it fairly simple. You can add string, anything you want. I put my little Santa donut, my little Nomi, and then I'm going to add the little snowman. Aren't they the cute? They're so cute. So cute, cute, cute. We'll grab the... So on this one also, you're going to see that I'm actually going to put a little surprise on the inside. I am going to add a donut because how much fun is it when you open a card and you see an extra little surprise in there? And then if you want to add, which you don't see on here, but I do add the Galatians 4 verse that Tracy gives us in the printables. So you can add that to the inside of the card. I offset it, and then I could still add my own handwriting in there if I want. And you'll see that, here we go. And then you can open it up and put the donut and maybe a couple other little things in there. So I hope you'll give this a try. As always, we love to see your work. Thank you so much for those of you who respond and who show us your work. It's just a lot of fun to see the creativity that you guys do and the creativity that's out there. So I'm going to add my final donut, and then I am going to show you all three together. I'm looking at this video and I'm thinking, what a mess I have on my desk. It is so messy. I don't know. I work better in mess though. I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but when there's stuff around me, when I'm done, I do like to clean it up. But all right, so let me grab the other one so we could see. There is our first one and then our second one, and this is when I'm like, oh my goodness, there's too much on my desk. Let's see if I can get a better picture. All right, guys, thank you so much for spending time with me. I look forward to seeing or spending time with you again. And take care and God bless everyone.